Hello, good day, everyone. Once again, viewers, we are welcome to another edition of the TechEd UpSkill series, the career path series that we've started recently. Remember to hit the subscribe button and then the bell so that you get notifications for upcoming interviews. So just to remind us, the purpose of this series is to bridge the gap between academia and then industry. So as much as possible, we'll be bringing on professionals, guest teachers, teachers one or two things, and help us know what is obtainable or expected of people when they're coming into the industry. All right. So today, our guest on the show is Mr. Yinka Martins. Hello, sir. You're welcome.
Good day. Thank you for having me here today.
It's good to have you here. Thank you for coming on this show. I and Yinka go way back in like 2006, 2007, thereabout. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And funny, when there was a time we were in the room, I had a system. I can never forget that moment. He's laughing, I'm sure he remembers. So my system, the operating system is XP, Windows XP. And yours was, what was that?
I think it was Vista or thereabout.
Vista. So what we wanted to do back then was to learn desktop remote computing, so I connected mine to his, mine was just dragging. It was a very, very funny moment. So Mr. Yinka, you're a software engineer. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Why software engineering? Why didn't you study something else? How did you come about learning this field?
Definitely. So you're free to like just address me as Yinka. That's fine. But in terms of my whole progress so far, as a kid, I've always been exposed to computers, which was a good thing. My dad was a computer engineer, so I was exposed to computing like very early. I was using computers as early as I think Windows 3.1.
Really?
So we're using like what is it called? Like the command line.
DOS, MS-DOS.
Exactly. It was all basic. We're still using like the floppy disk, the what is it, 3.5, the floppy disk, the 1.44 MB storage. So the exposure started or ignited like this interest in computing. From that time, I wanted to be like my dad. It was my role model at that time. So I had interest. I was exposed to things like that. The first computer I had in my house was a German computer. It was literally another language, but I was able to navigate through it.
Really?
Commands are always the same in a way, but I was able to navigate through it. So I started building interest in there, and I was trying to like see how I could like change things in the world in a way, like to contribute as well. I was looking at how I could like maybe at some point work with my dad or thereabout. But I really had like that passion for computing. I was doing hardware, I was doing software, I already started doing a little bit of code. It wasn't coding, but when you use the command line, you have to know some
networking commands.
So you're gonna know some commands and things like that. So I started doing that already. I was already putting things together. I was breaking things. I was getting like electrocuted a little bit by like components. So the exposure was there, but gradually I started programming. The first language I picked up was BASIC. It was BASIC. I picked up BASIC, and that was in high school.
BASIC.
I picked up BASIC, and I saw how simple it kind of was, and everything just changed from there. I started coding gradually, and I decided to study computing as a whole. I used to have this auntie that used to call me engineer from a kid. I was always like, I don't even do anything, but it was also a motivation. We have family in our lives that like
True.
They see our passion and things like that. We don't see it for ourselves, but they keep pushing us gradually. And I studied computer science in college, Babcock, where I met you. And from there, the thing about Babcock was I found myself even further because yes, there's a lot of theory. You know, Nigeria, the problem we had back then was that it was theoretical. So it's more theory based, but I found myself in the sense that I started doing like practical things. I was like teaching myself languages. I started learning. I believe that the language I taught myself, the first language I taught myself was PHP.
Way back? PHP,
I'm
right?
sorry. Yeah, PHP. Because I was trying to like get on the web, you know.
Okay.
And at that point, PHP was like king. You know, Facebook was using PHP. Everybody
True.
was dying about PHP, and it was quite simple as well. So building classes and things like that, PHP could do literally everything. I learned PHP. I also learned like some surrounding languages around it, like front end languages, you know, HTML, JavaScript, and things like that, just to like buffer to solidify myself. Also database or SQL and stuff like that. So and everything now is history. I ended up being a software engineer. So
wow, that's interesting. Thank you for that brief. What we're trying to do here also is to bridge that gap between academia and then industry. So with the curriculum that you passed through, you went through, how did that prepare you for the industry when you came out of the institution? Do you think the curriculum was fit enough? I remember at some point, New Horizon was thrown into our timetable, so we had to do some hands-on, some real core courses. So how do you think the curriculum of the institution prepares graduates for the industry?
I can't fully speak on it right now because I graduated from college a long time ago. I graduated
2010, yeah.
2010. Things would have changed now. I left the country 2011. I left the country 2011. I went to the UK to study. So things changed. The way they do things in the UK is different. The way they do, I'm in the US now. The way they do things here is also different. But back then, in 2010, well, when I was in college, honestly, to be frank, school then was I wasn't fully prepared, to be honest. But I was prepared. I'm not really sure people were fully prepared. There were a lot of people, to be honest.
True.
A lot of people they were like, should I call them A-mongers or something? They had A's on their, like you see their resume in college, academia. They have A's everything. But if we sit down one-on-one, let's talk about like let's get dirty in terms of like programming and stuff. Let's see your skill set. Let's see this, like what is the stack on your resume, you know? Let's code. They can't. So in terms of like being theoretical is one thing, and in terms of having like that knowledge or skill set of programming is another thing. You know, hands-on experience is very, very key. I keep telling people it shouldn't come from someone like me, for instance. Study the most basic thing, but focus on like New Horizon and all those like certification courses. That is the key for people in this industry. Don't spend too much time in academia. It is good to study. That's fine. I have 2 master degrees, but I came to understand that you actually need hands-on experience. That's the key to being successful. So in terms of like let's say you're in college, you go for internship or something. That is like some of the best things. You know, you get exposure, you see what people are doing out there, and then you can actually, okay, I need to work on this when I get back into college. I need to work on this. I need to build this skill set. I need to have a stack around that I'm going to, like, you know, this is my stack. This is what I do for the back end. This is what I know for the front end. Kind of databases I can use and things like that. So people actually need not just to be all, it's good to be good in college, like you know, academia and everything like that. But the main thing for like tech people is actually to get your hands in that field.
I quite agree with you. I remember when we left off, there was this course at final year, web design. I think, though final year, if you remember, I think it was Professor Dawood that was taking that course. Yeah, we were broken down into groups, told to do some things. It was very, very interesting. But I realized that when I came out of school, and most of those things, I wasn't good with hands-on. And when I came out, I realized when I came out, there were demands to do something in real time. I had to speed up, bring up my skills to start creating software and all of that. I wish that when we were at 200 level, that orientation was there. I know BUCC was there. Perhaps maybe we didn't use that environment as much as possible. But what I hear you say is that you seem to be telling us that portfolio seems to be as important as certification. So if you want to weigh these two yardstick, if you are an employer, for instance, or you're given the mandate to take in a supportive software engineer on your team and two graduates, I like painting this scenario, I come fresh out from the industry, what will you look at on their resume? Are you going to look at somebody that has first class 4.8, then has certification in this and that, or this guy that has maybe 3.6, I mean, let's just say even 3.4 with our skill here, but has lots of portfolio, has built software. So who would you take on your team?
There's literally more to it as well. There's like your resume. There is also there's like your education. There is your portfolio, like what you've done in the past, your experience. There is also like you as a person, behavioral skills. In the US, for instance, that is a very, very functional, a very, very key part to hiring people. Are you someone that people can work with? How do your interpersonal skills, how do you relate with people? It's one thing to be able to like get work done, but how do you relate with people is very, very key. You can be the best developer, but if you cannot like communicate with your co-workers, there's no point hiring that person. So in the US here, for instance, behavioral interviews are very, very key. For you to actually land a job, even if you don't do too well in the technical side, you have to pass. Like the behavioral, you have to get a high score there. So for me as a person, if I have to like pick like somebody for a position, for instance, I will not just be looking at your academics. To be honest, you have experience, you have this education in this place and that place. That's great, but what did you do in that place is what I'm looking for. Like, did you do some research? You were in college, for instance. Did you actually venture to research while you were there? Like, what was your research based on? Does it align with what we do here? Like, if your research was, let's say right now I'm in a company, a biotech company. So in the case I want to hire somebody into a biotech company, for instance, I'll be looking, all right, did you do any research that has to do with like biology or something? Yes, it's tech, but how does it align with like biology in a way? Do you have any like skills towards that? Is there something you did in research? If I have to like pick somebody from the academic area, in terms of like what is it called? In terms of people that have experience in the field, what kind of areas have you worked on? Is it like machine learning or whatever? What is it that we're hiring for? Will tell me that okay, this person has worked in this area before. They will be easy to like get on board, because that's one very, very big part, onboarding people so that they understand the system and then be able to start contributing as soon as possible. So is it that they've done something related to what we do here or stuff like that? But that's not always key, because developers these days can literally do everything. You just have to learn. You go online and simply search, how do I do this? How do I add something to the database? Anything you're looking for. Stack Overflow is king. Like as a developer, all you need is a computer, internet. You need Stack Overflow. You're ready to go. Like Stack Overflow will give you every single thing. There's answers and everything, verified answers. So it's not really about let me not contradict myself, but it's not really about how much you know, but what kind of person are you? Are you somebody that is willing to learn? Because in this industry, you keep learning every time.
Exactly.
What kind of person are you is what I want to know. And do you have like something like that aligns with us? Are you somebody, if you don't have something that aligns with us, are you like ready to learn? Are you ready to like do that dirty work and do some research and like?
All right. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Yinka. That brings me to the next question, probably the last on this call. Software engineering is kind of broad, and there are areas, because if somebody is coming out of college, they might want to have some area of focus. So I know we have mobile, web, and all of that. So could you tell us some of the areas one could focus on, and probably the tech stack that is related to that to that area of interest?
Definitely. I believe everybody, how will I say this? So in terms of like what is blowing up right now, I believe everybody's going into like augmented reality. It's I believe everybody has to choose what they want. It's I can't really speak on like fully on it. Like I can only speak on like what I know. Like for me right now, I'm a full stack engineer. And if you're a full stack engineer, you're literally on every part of the stack. Front end, back end, everything, like literally everything. AWS, like the cloud, you have to know everything. DevOps, exactly. You need to be on every side of the stack. So you don't have to be like king in everything, but you need to have like a basic knowledge of everything. You can always learn everything later. Everybody needs to choose exactly what their passion is it machine learning you want to go to? But if you're going to go into like something like machine learning, you need to go with the stack around it. For me, and then every company is different. In terms of stack, be ready to like do something in like you can either like use Java, Python is like on point right now. I actually a lot of Java back then, but my company right now we use Java, Python, and I actually learned a little bit of Python back then, but I now saw the simplicity. Like you literally use 3 lines, something that I would do like 10 lines in Java, 3 lines of code in there, boom, is all set. So Python is instrumental in the backend, for instance. I will also recommend that people learn something that has to do with like JavaScript, Node.js. I use Node.js. You need TypeScript, all those things like JavaScript frameworks. Not JavaScript alone, but JavaScript frameworks out there.
React.
They React.js and things like that. Node, all the front end part, all the back end part. There's a lot. Like you can put Node.js together because they will talk to each other. They can communicate easily, and they are lightweight as well, so they can easily they're faster and everything. Node.js. The reason why I was bringing up Node.js is because it helps to avoid things like multi-threading in like deadlocks in like Java, for instance. But it's a single process language, but it actually still like does multitasking. So but it depends on what people want. I can't really say this is the best, but a lot of people are going into augmented reality these days.
Really?
A lot of people are going into augmented reality. But in terms of augmented reality, you have to learn things like C#. It's like game development and things like that. So you have to learn like all kind of C# and C++ kind of things, which is quite simple. It's like any object-oriented language, but on crack. Well, it's simple. It's very, very simple, and it does literally everything. So all I'll say is everybody needs to have like a basic in every part of the stack. That is a selling point. You shouldn't just focus on like, oh, I want to be like a backend developer. I want to be a front-end developer. There's some companies that are big enough that can like hire in different
dedicated front-end.
Exactly. They are big enough to do that, but it's always good to like have like a basic understanding so that you have like an edge over everybody else. Oh, this guy is a backend. We're hiring him as a backend engineer, but he also knows a lot of things in other parts of the stack. So in terms of like connecting to like the front end and things like that, he knows how to like make things like seamless and everything. So it all depends on what exactly the person wants to do in the end.
All right, thank you very much, Yinka. Immediately you mentioned augmented reality. You just took my mind to Web 3.0. We are all preparing for it and getting ready for that phase of the internet. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the question we usually would ask engineers, software engineers on this call. What are your top 5 programming languages? Top 5 in terms of marketability, in terms of versatility, in terms of high demand right now. So what are your top 5?
I might be biased, so everybody should
we'll understand. Don't worry.
Well, I'm gonna be biased. I'll say Java.
Oh, okay.
I'll say Java. the reason why I say Java is because Java has been a very, very strong object-oriented programming language for a long time. It's still standing out there. It's still fighting every other language to some extent. And then you can use Java for literally everything. You can use it to build APIs. You can use it just for the back end. You can use it for like simple like desktop applications. You can use it on the web. Whatever it is you want to do, you can use Java for literally everything. There's libraries as well that you can use with Java. So Java is one. It might not be the best out there now because Python has literally like killed everything out there. Which brings me to the next one. I'll say Python. Python literally does everything. I've not seen a language, so I don't know what to use to describe it.
Versatile.
But Python, exactly, is versatile. Like you can use it for everything.
True.
Like, and then it's simple. You don't have to start calling all sorts of importing it, all these things. Like in Java, I import a lot. Of course, you import in like you import libraries into Python, but it's very simple. It's very simple, and it's just is so versatile, as you say. You can use it to do exactly what Java does as well, and they literally are like back to back. Like, oh, they're gonna fight each other. You can always take one or the other. Node.js is we like call it like a language. It's more like a scripting language. But Node.js is also taking the country back. Like Node.js developers in the US, for instance, are earning like tons of like serious money.
Wow.
A year, a Node.js developer is earning at least maybe $140,000 a year. So that's something to also venture into. It's not been out for too long, so some people might have not really seen it. But Node.js is a solid one. It's I don't know how to explain Node.js, but I've used Node.js. I learned Node.js like last year, and it's simple. You can call libraries. You can connect to like React and the rest of them for like your front end. You can build web apps. You can do literally everything. You can build your API.
I love the API. The API simple generation.
Exactly. You simply just call one or two things. Even if you use like Express and all those other libraries, and you've already created like a functional API. Like few lines of code. If I have to speak of any other language, it seems like I don't even like see much languages anymore. What other languages are out there?
You know, it's very interesting. I had a call with someone, I guess, also Microsoft. He started in the institution with PHP, and when I asked him the same question, PHP wasn't on his ranking. So it seems like when you get into the industry, it kind of changes our taste.
PHP, people still hire some PHP developers, but
on framework basis, I guess, maybe like Laravel or code.
Exactly, Laravel, all those people that see maybe you want to like customize WordPress or something. But I don't know if people still using PHP, to be honest. But PHP is a very very good language. It's no longer on my top 3 languages. I can probably make 5. But PHP I'll give it to PHP because Facebook till today still uses PHP.
Yeah, true.
Facebook was built on PHP, and of course they have extensions of like all sorts of languages now, and some other languages that they've been using, Flask and all, whatever it is that is being used right now. But PHP is still good. But I've not touched PHP in a while, to be honest. Because there's so much. The requirements now is different. And there was a lot of like in terms of hack security at some point. There was a lot of issues with PHP at some point because everybody knew, you know, when it comes to hacking, for instance, I studied forensic computing.
Cybersecurity.
Hacking is not only, it's not like, oh, I'm just going to do some stuff and then I'm going to, it's about you understanding a language so well, you know the flaws, buffer overflow and those kind of things. So PHP is known so well. People literally can like bypass so many things. However, it's been out for a long time. It's survived a lot, and then it's a good language. But it's not really on my top 5 anymore. What other languages are there? I don't know.
I think I stretched it out a little bit. I could have just said the first 3. I know once you said top 5 for a developer, you're like stressing them out. Yeah. So thank you for those selections. Okay. COVID. We all don't like COVID. We didn't like it, but it has changed the game. Remote work. How has that been for you working? I want to presume remotely. How has that changed the game of you commuting and all of that?
COVID has been a blessing to me. Not like me catching COVID. No, but COVID has been a blessing. I apparently surprisingly never
in disguise. Blessing in disguise, right?
It's been a blessing so far because I went through a lot of things here, and he actually like gave, like, I was blessed, and I thank God for that. But to speak on the fact on the topic of working remotely, a lot of people began to understand that it's unnecessary to commute. It's stressful to commute. Like the amount of hours people spend day to day killing themselves to get to work has been narrowed down. And that time I can literally use it to prepare breakfast, hit the gym, take care of myself, because my well-being, everybody is always like about, oh, I want to work and make money and everything. But if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be alive to enjoy that money when you retire. So my well-being is like, I live better. I wake up like, I can wake up later. I hit the gym in the morning, and I can make breakfast. Nice breakfast. I'm ready. My brain is all set. My blood is pumping well. I'm good to go. I'm taking care of myself. I don't have to get off of work and start like hitting traffic. I stay outside of Boston right now, and I'm in Massachusetts, and Boston is the top city here. Outside of Boston, like 40 minutes outside of Boston, but on a good morning, on a weekday, it's going to take me at least an hour and 15 minutes to get to work. But I'm working remotely. It's a blessing and a disappointment for some people, for some companies, because you can like really keep tabs on your employees.
Yeah.
But we have like the agile methodology. There's the Scrum and everything. Like and everybody has like,
all of that.
Exactly. So there's like companies have daily stand-ups. So we have tasks for each sprint, for instance. You have to at least get most of them done. So, and it's based on trust. You've already hired people. Remote work has been great. Like I have time, my spouse and everything. We can spend more time together and things like that. Not like I'm going to be here for like literally the whole day. I come back grumpy or something. So, remote work has been great. People like from India, from Nigeria can literally work remotely as well in like other countries. So and then in terms of like, some of the best engineers are in a specific place, it's no longer that case because remote work has made it easy. Everybody literally can work remotely. You commit your code together. You can review each other. There's Zoom that made the biggest profit out of COVID. So it's been a blessing in disguise for me. It's been great. I've been blessed by it. At some point I was actually a freelancer. I had to like go around and things like that. But now I work with a company. I work at Benchling, which is about tech company. They actually I don't know if you know of one of the vaccines, Moderna.
Really?
They actually were used to do
research.
To do research and everything, like all the testing and everything. They use like software because Benchling is a company that actually caters to people in the biotech industry, like biopharmacies and things like that. So we're talking about like this COVID thing, for instance. Like I'm at home and I want to like run a series of tests remotely. The way things are built now, like from my computer, I literally just type this and that, and there's like test tubes spinning at work and things like that. Like you can do everything remote, inventory and everything. There's notebooks that you can use to like
run some scripts and all
your results and everything. You can pull everything. It does all the DNA slicing and primaring and everything. It literally does everything. Awesome. So remote work has been a blessing. So far, it's been great. So
thanks for sharing. I'm sure so many dev also we talk about that. When Yinka was talking about going to the gym, I forgot to mention he's a boxer. He has won a couple of competitions and their video
I'm a retired boxer.
Retired.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I took a break right up when the COVID hit. I couldn't really, people weren't like around each other anymore. So I pulled out of boxing. Plus, I need my brain intact. This brain makes money for me. It takes care of my family.
You don't want any hard punches on them.
I don't exactly. So I need to enjoy my life. My long-term goal is not just working for top companies. There's Google and the rest, but that isn't still gonna give me like the full time satisfaction. I want to be able to have this company that trains engineers and uses these engineers. Maybe they okay, we're gonna train you. You have a contract with us, and then we build things. I have a dream for Nigeria, for instance. I have a dream for Nigeria. I've always had that dream.
Good.
Like my dad, for instance, that was a computer engineer. I was looking to like change his company, for instance. So I want to have a company that like builds software solutions to like to do literally everything. I want to train people to like work with me, and we change Nigeria. But
interesting.
I don't know how fast we can do that, which is the reason why I left. I left Nigeria because we're still fighting. We don't even have constant electricity is one thing. So
yeah, it's a challenge. It's still a challenge.
So there's so many things that I'm just, I pray every day that things get better. Like the top people out here and out there in the world, they're Nigerians. Most of the best doctors and engineers are Nigerians. So.
Wow, great. Thanks for sharing. So we are hoping. So we always pray for you guys over there to always have have dev back here in mind and create a platform where collaborations can be done. We know these limitations are there right here. Sometimes you code and without consciousness, knowing that your battery might just go off, and it's, it's very disturbing, but you want to be in an environment where you really code, you don't care about whether power is going to go off, so you just focus on your design and all of that. So we hope for the better. Lastly, are there any platforms that you can share to people where they can learn or test their programming skills and develop their skills? Any platform?
To test their skills?
Yeah, to maybe some code challenges.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. I keep forget. Coder Rank, I think Code Bytes. There's a lot of them out there.
Rank and all of that.
Rank, exactly. Yeah. Rank and things like that. In terms of like landing jobs, like those are key. It's not just about going to go cram. Oh, what is this? What is that? Well, it might be different in Nigeria. I don't know. I can't really speak on it. But companies out here don't really care about what kind of terminologies you know or what can you define. They care about what you have, your logic reasoning, the math in your brain, how fast you can make things run and things like that. The time complexity, things like that is what they're looking at. So HackerRank and the rest of them will literally get you the beginner stages alone should actually get your brain pumping. You want to challenge yourself, you go higher to like the harder task. And HackerRank, Code Byte, and there's a lot of them out there. And I would just advise people to keep learning every time. You can never go wrong with learning. There's free resources out there. There is a free code bootcamp online on YouTube. They literally give free code boot. So there's a lot of resources out there. People just have to keep learning, and people should never give up that. Oh, they want this requirement. You can learn it. Like I never use Python per se, and I'm working at a company that actually requires Python. Our stack is actually a huge number of like languages. We have like maybe over 20 things on our stack. Python being one of them, and I've never used it before. I've learned it, but I've not like used it. It's not my. But I was able to like land the job with Java, and then it's all similar, it's all object oriented and everything, so you can easily just understand. So learning is key.
Okay, thank you very much, Yinka. Learning is key, and that's what TechEd UpSkill is all about. We create conversations, platform, invite professionals to let us know what is happening right there in the industry. It's not all about academia, and then you read, you know how to define beautiful definition, you get us 5.0, then you don't do well in the industry. So what this platform is all about is to bridge that gap. So we invite people let people that are in the industry let us know what is expected of those coming out of the institution. Thank you very much, Yinka, for being on the show. So we're still going to call you some other time, probably as a guest tutor to teach us one or two things. Of course, once in a while, that is what we want to do here on this platform, to elevate the skills of people. Thank you very much for coming on a very short notice.
You're welcome. Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
And it's nice seeing you again in person virtually. That's like how many years now?
Maybe like 12 years.
Yeah, 12
wow.
years. Exactly.
Wow, it's good to see you. It's like it never changed.
Well, you can say that again. I can say that for you too, except for the beers that you have all around you right now. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. Okay, so and thank you, viewers. Thank you for being on the call today. So, like I said, hit the subscribe button and the bell, because there are a series of interviews coming on the way, so that you will get notified immediately there are new content. Okay, so like I always say at the end of the show, till we see again, keep upgrading your skill. See you next time. Thank you very much. Bye, Yinka.
Bye.